Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hud. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 2, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. Yes, we had a massive trade in Major League Baseball tonight. Unbelievable. And I have to bell again. Yes, Major League Baseball, we saw a massive trade. Rafael Devers got traded from the Red Sox to the San Francisco Giants. What? I mean, talk about a surprise. Talk about a shocker. And the Red Sox just played the Yankees this past weekend and swept them. And his last at bat, he had a home run against, Max Fried. Unbelievable. Just an unbelievable weekend, an unbelievable day. So the Giants received Devers, and they traded a boatload of players. Jordan Hicks went, who's been a reliever. You know, he was the closer with the Cardinals for a while. Then he went to the Blue Jays. Then he signed a contract going into last year with the Giants. And he's been sort of, a starter. Also, they traded Kyle Harrison, who was the top prospect with them for the last few years. And he's a left-handed pitcher. He was supposed to start tonight against the Dodgers. He got scratched. They told him, you can't go out there. Also, they sent James Tibbs, who was the 13th overall pick in last year's draft. He's in high A ball, with the Giants. And then another pitcher, Jose Bello, who's also with the high A Giants minor league team. He's 20 years old. He's pitched 18 innings. I guess he's a reliever. He struck out 28 batters, so he's years away. But this trade, boy, let's talk about it a little bit. A lot of drama with this thing with the Red Sox. The Red Sox had all kinds of problems with Devers. They signed him to that massive contract a few years ago, the 11-year deal. The Giants have about $250 million to pay off on this contract. They're taking everything back. So that's an unbelievable salary dump on the part of the Red Sox. But there was so many problems with Devers with the Red Sox. First of all, they told him that they signed Alex Bregman. They said, all right, we're going to put you at DH. You wasn't too happy back because you wanted to play third. Then getting late into the late spring training, said, you know what, we want to put you first. Or during the season when they lost Tristan Casas to an injury. They said, well, we want to put you the first. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't blame him. But there were all kinds of issues here. Just aside, he didn't get along with the new management. There are a lot of questions about him not being in shape. There were questions about the fact that they didn't want him around younger players. He wasn't being very positive about the younger players on the club. And there was a sort of a sense from the Red Sox side that this guy, we don't want him here anymore. He's a bad influence. Now, from what the rumor is that he's extremely excited about going to the Giants, which is interesting because he's going from a team that's not in it really, on the periphery. And I would mention about the Red Sox, there's all kinds of rumors tonight that they're going to make more moves, that they're going to be sellers. Trevor Story's probably going to be gone. Masataka Yoshida, what the hell his name is, he's going to be going. So they're really going to go very young and really shed a lot of payroll. And they need to. And there's a lot of money off the books. That's $250 million off the books, and they can spend that money elsewhere next offseason. But that's a good move. And, they should be a better team as a group. I'm sure fans are not happy that he's gone. But, there was a lot of problems there, and they had to move on. He was a guy that needed to change the scene. And what a way to start the trade deadline and trade rumors. Nobody heard anything about this up until about an hour ago as I recorded this video. And then now the Giants. For many years, the Giants have been trying to bring in a big player. They tried to get Bryce Harper. That didn't work. They tried to bring in Aaron Judge. That didn't work. And now they brought in Rafael Devers, who will be put in the middle of that lineup. It'll be interesting to see where they place him in the lineup, whether it be whether they put him at third, or they're going to DH him, because they do have Matt Chapman, who's injured. Or they'll put him at first. I doubt he'll go to first, but they are in a very prime position, the Giants, to really do a lot of damage now. and I would expect that they'll probably do more to improve that club. It's funny. In the offseason, someone had written to me basically saying that the Giants were now the little brother to the Dodgers. And I'm thinking, excuse me? The Giants have won 3 championships in the last 15 years. They haven't won in 11 years. But this is a franchise that has done enormous amounts of winning, more than the Dodgers have. And the Dodgers have not had a good season by their own standard. They can't be happy that Devers is now going to be facing them on the other side. There's a storied history there between the Dodgers and the Giants. And now they're going to have to face one of the best hitters in the game on the Giants side. And he's going to transform this lineup. This is the kind of player they've been looking to get for a long time. And Buster Posey's shown that he's being very aggressive. Obviously, they re-signed Matt Chapman last season. They signed Willie Adams, who I think is he's a good player, he's a winning player, and a leader on that team, and a leader with the Brewers, I guess. So this is a great move for the Giants, obviously. And this is one of the best hitters in the game. And it's funny, people say, oh, he's terrible. He's gotten off to a terrible start. He's going to turn around. He's had a very good season. He had one hot streak that was amazing after he had that cold start. But a shocker to Major League Baseball. And to quickly finish up with the Red Sox. The Red Sox, I believe, people are complaining about the Red Sox, that they're a dumpster fire. The Red Sox are in better shape today than they were after the Yankee game, because they got rid of all that money. You got a general manager who's trying to build his team based off of what he wants to do. He really couldn't do with this contract, and there wasn't a lot of flexibility with the player. He didn't want to play certain positions. He was giving them a hard time. He was giving them all kinds of fits in terms of just his attitude overall. He's not a bad guy, but sometimes it just doesn't work out with a player in a place. And he didn't sign that contract with this group. Even though he signed this contract with the management, he didn't sign it with this group. And when you don't sign a trade, you sign a contract with a particular group of front office, and they're gone, and then you get somebody in that has a different philosophy. It's going to have friction. And obviously, Breslow wants a team that is much more flexible in terms of more athleticism on the club. And this is a team that has a lot of good young players. Roman Anthony just got called up a couple of days ago. They have a good first baseman, even though he's injured. They have a lot of young talent that they want to play. And if he's a bad influence on these young players, then you have to get him out of here. Well, this is a massive trade. This is going to have a domino effect on the trade market, because this was the best hitter on the market. We didn't even know he was on the market. Although I kind of had a feeling over the last few months that he was probably going to get moved. But the reality is, what a massive trade for the Giants. And really, the Red Sox had no choice in this situation. So, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. And I'll see you later. Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. And hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So, in this video, we're going to have to talk about a couple of things. Basically, trade rumors. But it's going to be about the Tigers, I believe, the Pirates, and the Phillies. And, of course, got teams all over the place here. Let's start at the top. And that's with the Detroit Tigers. This is from Yahoo Sports. It didn't come across well. Yahoo. Anyway. They try to be entertaining, and it just falls flat. Even to myself. The post-Tigers rumors. Trade deadline reunion could put Tigers over the top appeared first on clutch points. The Detroit Tigers have been one of the best teams in baseball this season, as they have owned the best record in the league for much of the year. And they could be a real threat to the Yankees in terms of getting to the World Series. They have tremendous pitching. Obviously with Tariq Skubal at top. After a sluggish 4 months of baseball during the 2024 season, the Tigers turned on the Jets in August to make a run to the playoffs, and momentum has continued into the 2025 season. Detroit is currently 44-25 and 7 games up in first place in the AL Central. And the team is likely going to add to the roster at the trade deadline to gear up for a deep postseason run. The way that this season has started, it makes sense for the Tigers to be buyers at the deadline. They are already one of the best teams in baseball as is, but another key piece or two can take them to the next level. So who will be Detroit's target? A reunion with Arizona Diamondbacks third baseman Eugenio Suarez is something to watch. Quote, the Tigers are for real. They'll be aggressive at the trade deadline to bolster their bullpen and lengthen their lineup of a power-hitting third baseman being their biggest need. The Athletics' Jim Bowden wrote. But like the Mariners, a reunion with the Diamondbacks Suarez could be the best fit. Arizona could put Jordan Lawler at third to build for next year, and then work on his development in the majors in the second half of this season. Bowden is correct, as the Tigers could definitely use some help over at third base. Detroit doesn't really have a true third baseman right now, as numerous players have spent time at the position. That could change when the team gets Matt Vierling back, but still, it is a need right now. Suarez is certainly an attractive option. It's been a while since Suarez was with the Tigers, but he actually got his career started in Detroit back in 2014. He has since played for the Reds, the Mariners, and now the Diamondbacks. Suarez is a good option for the Tigers because of the need for a third baseman, is also because of Suarez's power. He's a tremendous power hitter. So that's something you need to keep an eye on. He's got 19 home runs and he's got 52 RBIs. And they're probably, of course, you're looking for offense. So this would be a great fit for the Tigers. So next up in this video, the Pirates. We went from the top now to the bottom. One of the worst teams in baseball, one of the worst franchises. Not the fans' fault. It's ownership's fault there in Pittsburgh. They don't really care about winning. I don't know what the hell they care about. They had a great ballpark, great fan base, but they don't. That ownership doesn't care. But Paul Skeens, from the Bleacher Report, Paul Skeens reportedly be subject of MLB trade rumors, despite Pirates' stance. Pittsburgh Pirates ace pitcher Paul Skeens reportedly would generate trade offers before this season's deadline, whether the team likes it or not. The Athletics' Jim Bowden reported that the Pirates have no interest in trading him at this year's deadline. However, multiple GMs have told me that won't stop them from making serious offers to acquire him. Skeens has been one of the best pitchers in MLB, but his 4-6 record doesn't reflect that amid yet another disappointing season for the Pirates, who have the third worst record in the National League at 28-41. The 23-year-old ranks 5th in the majors with a 1.88 ERA and is tied for first with 11 quality starts. He racked up 92 strikeouts and 91 innings of work against 20 walks and 56 hits allowed. While it would be a massive surprise for the Pirates to consider trading him, I'm pointing out that they have to listen because you have so many needs to fill on your big league team and also in your farm system. Pittsburgh undoubtedly will be seeking a massive return in exchange for the reigning NL Rookie of the Year, but he could be worth the price. The return for Skeens in a trade would have to be even more than the hold the Nationals got for Juan Soto at the 22 deadline, Bounce stated. However, he is the best pitcher in baseball with 4 more years of team control, so it arguably would be worth paying that type of package. The Pirates will begin a 4-game series on Thursday against the Cubs. Skeens, I don't have the update for you on Skeens, how he pitched. I'm sure he pitched great on Friday against the Cubs, but boy, if he gets moved, the Pirates should just just pack up their bags and leave. I mean, what they're doing is just a joke. I mean, the ownership there is just a disaster. On opening day, ownership was walking through the ballpark and people were saying to the owner, to his face, folks, to his face, that he should sell the team. He ignored it. The rumor was when they had a fan fest, nobody could talk about Ke'Bryan Hayes, because Ke'Bryan Hayes is a player that's been unhappy there. Fans were told not to talk about it. Fans were discouraged to ask him any questions about the whole situation with that young player. So this is not a situation where you have ownership that wants to listen. They don't want to listen. It's not a situation where the ownership will talk to you and stuff. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. It's a shame. And finally in this video, the Philadelphia Phillies. I posted a video on Facebook, and I guess on X, that the Philly fans are crying, calling up these radio stations, crying about how they wish it was 2008, complaining about the team. because they got mad that the Pirates swept them in, I guess, in Philadelphia. And it's funny because the Philly fans, they're so obsessed with everything else, but then they flip out over every little thing, but which I think is funny. But we have from Philly Voice, the Phillies have some needs. MLB trade rumors, who can the Phillies realistically add to bolster the outfield? Their offense has been all over the place, and of course Bryce Harper's on the injured list. And in all likelihood, I would expect that Kyle Schwarber will be leaving the Phillies after the season. I think he'll move on to the next team and hit another 900 home runs for some other team. I wouldn't mind the Mets picking him up and make him the DH next year. But the trade deadline is still several weeks away, but it's not too early to look at some outfield bats who could be on the move. Okay. The Phillies outfield is underachieving. Just like they have for the last 4 seasons, the Phillies have been relying on ultra-streaky Nick Castellanos and a cast of hitters who can't really hit to man their 3 outfield positions. They've been a liability, say at least. Here's a look at we don't have to look at the. I mean, it doesn't matter. I have to show that. The kind of offense is not a recipe for success, especially with so many contending teams with outfields that are at an advantage, which is why it's one of the biggest areas of concern for a team ahead of July's trade deadline. Here's a look at the top prospects and top candidates we could find, and they all have one glaring flaw or another. Luis Robert Jr. Robert is a confusing baseball player, at least via his box scores. Set to be a free agent in the fall, Robert has a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, and All-Star appearance. But he's hit .210 over his last 2 seasons, but hitting .279 over his first 4. I would mention that he was learning under Tony La Russa. I'm sure the manager has not helped him much. Cedric Mullins from the Orioles. He's going to get moved. I mean, if the Orioles are out, he'll be moved. Mullins offers an extremely similar sort of upgrade to Robert. He's played his entire career in one uniform. He hit .263 from 2018 to 22. The last 3 seasons, he's hit .232. Miguel Andujar from the A's. A bit of a journeyman. Andujar has played for 4 teams over the last 4 seasons, but he's been solid with the A's. Okay. Next up, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The Diamondbacks. If the Diamondbacks are out of it, he'll be moved. And finally on their list is Taylor Ward. I think that he would go to the Phillies. So let me know what you think about this video about the Tigers, the Pirates, and of course the Phillies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Hi everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, and welcome back to the baseball head too, and hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of videos for you on this channel about baseball trades, and also this video will be going on to Substack. And of course, there's a lot going on in baseball. Obviously, we're now in the middle of June, and before you know, we'll be at the trade deadline, and there'll be players that are going to get moved and players that aren't going to get moved. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Bleacher Report's 10 predictions for the 2025 MLB trade deadline, which is on July 31st at 6 p.m. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that. The Pirates, I'll open a live stream. The Pirates will not trade Paul Skeens. That's the first one. Well, I would think they won't be trading him. He's not up for arbitration yet. When he's up for arbitration, folks, that's when they'll move him. It's extremely frustrating that Paul Skeens is pitching as well as anyone in baseball, but has a 4-6 record for a Pirates team that isn't going to sniff the postseason. As much as you might like to see the reigning NL Rookie of the Year pitching in October this year, though, it would be shocking if that's how things play out. He won't get traded until he's arbitration eligible. Probably by the end of, maybe next year, maybe next off season, or the following year. He's not getting moved right away. It's funny, I saw that he had pitched 38 games for the Pirates, and his record is not great. It's over 500, but he could be 26-1 because of the fact they don't hit for him, and they just don't hit, period. They have no offense. They have no offensive talent. Number 2, Luis Robert Jr. will finally be traded, but not for anything significant. Well, when you hit under 200, you're not going to get anything of significance, that's for sure. Luis Robert Jr. leads the American League with 21 steals, but he's struggling so much at the plate, he's slashing 184. That's going to be hard for the White Sox. Get anything meaningful in return for him. They should have moved him a while ago. They should have moved him in the offseason when they moved Garrett Crochet. Since hitting 38 home runs with a .857 OPS in 23, He has just 18 home runs and a 623 OPS. This might be one of these players, folks, that could do a good job for a team that has talent around him, a veteran team. There's no talent around him. There's no veteran players to guide him. And there are teams that would be interested in him, according to them. The Braves, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Mariners would be interested in him. And he won't be 28 until after the All-Star, until after the trading deadline, according to this. He's not making a lot of money, quite frankly. Number 3, Red Sox trade Jaron Doran of Wilyer Abreu. Roman Anthony was the consensus top prospect in baseball, but it took Wilyer Abreu going on the injured list, the left oblique strain, for the 21-year-old to finally get promoted to the show. We'll see if the Red Sox turn around what has been a disappointing season, but there's definitely an argument from a long-term perspective that they should move one of the team's current starting outfielders to clear a spot for Anthony permanently. Okay? Duran has already been reported as a piece of interest to the Padres by Dennis Flynn of The Athletic. We talked about it here. I did a video on that. The 2024 version of Duran is the type of player who's untouchable. But his value right now might be at its peak because he hasn't yet conclusively proved last year was an outlier, though he isn't performing at the same level overall again. Okay? Let's see. Abreu would also net them something really good in return, assuming he gets healthy. There's a 795 OPS and a 24 defensive runs saved in the right field in parts of 3 major league seasons. That's pretty good. The Marlins, number 4, the Marlins will hold on to Sandy Alcantara. Well, he has no value right now. And he has another year on his contract. And I could see him getting moved in the offseason. Maybe you get his value up in the second half. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. So it's probably a possibility maybe you move him next year. Maybe he has a good second half, but maybe it's not good enough to where you can move him. But maybe he has a good last 2 months in August and September. He shows teams that he's healthy, and then some team will come in and take him for 1 year, like the Mets or possibly more likely the Dodgers or the Yankees. The trade deadline will run to the Diamondbacks if they sell. Diamondbacks enter 25 with World Series aspirations, but they are currently in the 500 and just lost former National League Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns for the season, the Tommy John surgery. It's true. Arizona certainly shouldn't trade Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, or Rolando Perdomo, but Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Josh Naylor, and Eugenio Suarez are in all-in contract years. Yeah, these guys are getting. I mean, somebody, if they don't make it, they don't get close before the deadline, they're going to move these players. And the thing about the Diamondbacks, they don't stay bad for long. The Braves will not be sellers. The scum-sucking Braves. Well, you know what? This might be the one thing I will ignore. We'll move on to the next one. The Blue Jays will go down swinging. They have no choice. If you're a team in need of a major offensive upgrade in the infield and hoping the Blue Jays will decide to trade Bo Bichette, don't hold your breath. Even though their run differential is hovering around neutral, the Blue Jays are well above 500 and an AL East is not nearly as deep as expected. President Mark Shapiro, General Manager Ross Atkins, and Manager John Schneider are probably all on the hot seat too. So they aren't going to be inclined to sell current talent off the future pieces they may not be around to reap the rewards from. If they were really bad, Bo Bichette would be gone. The Dodgers would be the team at the top of that list. And guys like Chris Bassett could get moved, but after they signed Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to that massive contract, they can't just go and turn around and just move. Just can't move, their players. I mean, they're going to be in until the end. And he's on the. I mean, what kind of value are you going to get for Bo Bichette? I mean, is he a franchise alternate shortstop? Not really. Who needs a shortstop other than the Braves? Maybe the Dodgers. Orioles waved the white flag on 25, but not 2026. Okay, it's been a miserable season for the Orioles, who have already fired manager Brandon Hyde and replaced him on an interim basis with Tony Mansolino. They could change course if they have a great June, but this feels like a lost season. Well, the general manager should be fired. He's done a terrible job. He did absolutely nothing in the offseason to really improve them in terms of bringing in role players, improve their pitching, and you have all these great young players that are going to go. They're going to leave. I mean, you know. And here's the weird thing, the crazy thing is that ownership said they would spend money, but this general manager won't. It will be number 9. It will be a seller's market for relievers. Okay? Well, that's true. There's going to be a lot of relievers out there. Run down some of these relievers. Pete Fairbanks of the Rays. Kyle Finnegan of the Nationals. Dennis Santana of the Pirates. Felix Bautista, Orioles. He'll get a lot of teams on him. They'll get a fortune for him. Let me go run down this again. Pete Fairbanks, the Rays give him up. They'll get something modest. The same thing with Finnegan. The same thing with the Pirates. Batista's a guy that the Orioles could get a lot for him. Aroldis Chapman, he'll be moved. I mean, he's with the Red Sox. The Red Sox are out of it. He'll get moved. He always gets moved at the deadline. And finally, the Dodgers have to trade for both starting and relief pitching depth. They haven't played as well as people thought they would. You know, I mean, they have very good offense, but their pitching needs a lot of work. So they'll definitely be looking for pitching. But the bullpen is very interesting. Go back to that. I mean, you got guys on this list that the Mets would be very interested in if you're a Met fan. Fairbanks, they'd be interested in. Kyle Finnegan, they'd be interested in. Bautista, definitely. And Chapman. The Mets are looking for guys that throw hard. They want to really shut down 7th, 8th, and 9th inning so they can win the World Series. That's what the Mets are trying to do, is win the World Series this year. So that from what I've heard, they're looking for bullpen help, a lot of bullpen help. So let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, this will go on Substack, on X, Facebook, and yada, 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 and, of course, YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.